We will close the border. We will stop the invasion of illegals into our country. We will defend our territory. We will not be conquered. We will not be conquered. No tax on tips. No tax on overtime.
We're jumping right in. We've got this really comprehensive report detailing President Donald J. Trump's first 6 months. It lists, I think, 20 core promises to make America great again. And the main thrust is that they were, well, fulfilled quickly. So our job here is to really unpack what this report is saying, look at the claims, the specifics it uses.
Yeah, it's definitely a fascinating read if you're into policy results. What struck me is how it just lays out these, tangible achievements, or what it calls achievements, right from day one, basically. The whole framing is about rapid progress, getting things done across the board.
Okay, so let's dig into it. The first big area the report hits is securing America's borders and internal safety, too. Starts right there with the border.
Exactly. Promise number one in the report: seal the border and stop the migrant invasion. And they mark it fulfilled. To back that up, it points to what it calls historic lows in illegal crossings. Actually says the last month reported was the lowest ever recorded, and it projects the whole fiscal year is on track for the fewest crossings in like 5 decades. Plus, it makes a big point about a 2-month stretch with, and I quote, 0 illegal immigrants released into the interior. Oh, and border wall construction resuming, that's mentioned too.
Right, that zero release line definitely stands out. It signals a very distinct approach. And the report links this straight to the next promise, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. Promise 2. Largest deportation operation in American history, also marked fulfilled. The description is pretty vivid. It says the administration is actively, daily, deporting illegal immigrant killers, rapists, gang members, drug workers, and other violent criminals. So it's framed not just as numbers, but as a direct move to boost public safety by removing, well, what the report calls the most dangerous elements.
And you can see how they build that narrative, right? Connecting border actions directly to safety inside the country. Which brings us to Promise 10, stop migrant crime and cartels. Also fulfilled, according to this.
Indeed. The report says this was done by dismantling human smuggling networks, not just at the border, but hitting their structure. It specifically calls out sanctioning cartels as terrorist organizations, which, gives more enforcement tools. And it highlights deporting gang members, names Trendaragua specifically. The argument is this directly leads to safer communities for Americans.
And the safety focus, as presented here, it even moves on to campuses. Promise 18, deport pro-Hamas radicals and restore campus safety.
Yeah, that one's marked fulfilled as well. The report talks about federal enforcement and critical visa revocations. It says these targeted pro-Hamas agitators, defining them as people involved in disruptive or threatening acts. And the stated goal: restoring safety and, interestingly, free speech on campuses. The idea presented is that these actions were needed to stop radical elements from, messing up genuine learning.
So this first chunk of the report really paints a picture of decisive action on multiple fronts: borders, crime, even campus issues. It's presented as a very comprehensive push for, let's say, national security and order from a very specific viewpoint. Okay, let's shift gears. The next big focus in the report is the economy. This is where it hits home for a lot of people, right? Their wallets.
Absolutely. And the report leads with Promise 3. End inflation and make America affordable again, marked fulfilled. It throws out a bunch of stats here. Core inflation near a 4-year low, says prices for everyday goods are falling. Economic confidence is rising. It also mentions jobs numbers beating expectations 4 months straight, gas prices at a 4-year low. And this one's interesting. Blue-collar wages saw the largest increase in nearly 60 years. Plus, the stock market hitting record highs. It presents all this as, clear proof of an economic turnaround.
That does sound like a significant shift, especially the bit about falling prices and wages rising. The report connects a lot of this to energy policy, right? Promise 4, make America the dominant energy producer.
Correct. Also fulfilled, according to the document. It says the administration unleashed American energy. No. Through things like record drilling permits, cutting regulations that hindered production, expanding pipelines, the result, it claims, is a surge in U.S. oil and gas production. And it argues this does 2 things: creates high-paying energy jobs here and helps lower global energy prices, giving the U.S. leverage.
So the picture is not just independence, but global dominance in energy. And that self-reliance, the report argues, fuels American industry, which takes us to Promise 5.
Turn the U.S. into a manufacturing superpower. And yes, marked fulfilled. The support cited is companies announcing trillions in new U.S. investments, bringing workers and production back home onshoring. It's framed as strategic, bringing critical supply chains back, creating tens of thousands of jobs, making the U.S. a leader in future industries, moving away from relying on foreign manufacturing.
Okay, and this focus on jobs and industry. The report says it translates directly into benefits for workers. That's Promise 6. Large tax cuts for workers and no tax on tips. Sounds pretty direct for the listener.
Very direct. The report says this is now law, calls it the largest tax cut in history for working and middle-class Americans. It highlights specifics. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and importantly, no tax on Social Security benefits. Puts real money back in people's pockets is the phrase used. And it adds that small businesses, farmers, families also got significant tax relief, all designed to boost the economy from the ground up, basically.
And thinking bigger picture, economically, the report also covers America's standing globally. Promise 13 is about keeping the dollar strong.
Keep the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency, marked fulfilled. The report really stresses this for national strength. It credits the administration's pro-growth policies and tough, smart trade deals for strengthening the dollar, and argues this is vital to stop de-dollarization, which it says rivals want. The goal, as presented, is keeping the dollar as the cornerstone of the global economy, boosting U.S. power.
So the narrative this section weaves is pretty clear. A major economic comeback in just half a year. Inflation tackled, energy booming, manufacturing returning, taxes cut, dollar strong. That's the picture painted. All right, moving on from the economy, the report then turns to liberty, constitutional rights, and government accountability, foundational stuff.
Yeah, this part focuses on individual freedom, Promise 7. Defend constitutional rights, marked fulfilled. It mentions executive orders signed to dismantle censorship, protect religious freedoms, safeguard Second Amendment rights, and also directives to stop what it calls government overreach into citizens' lives, making sure rights are protected in practice, not just on paper.
Restoring fundamental liberties, that seems to be the theme. And tied to that is reining in government power itself, Promise 9, and weaponization of government.
The report is emphatic here, absolutely fulfilled. It says it's crucial for restoring trust. It details actions like purging corrupt elements in the DOJ and FBI, signals a commitment to accountability is how it's framed. Also mentions pardoning wrongly targeted pro-life Americans, correcting injustices, the report suggests, and launching investigations into deep state abuses. The stated aim, making sure government serves the people, not political agendas, justice applied fairly.
That's a powerful claim, reclaiming government. And the report suggests part of that involves cutting red tape. Promise 15. Cancel electric vehicle mandate and cut regulations.
Also listed as fulfilled. It says the EV mandate was revoked on day one, called it an overreach, a burden, notes Congress supported this, but beyond that, it claims a broader systematic slashing of job-killing regulations across different sectors. The idea being to remove hurdles to innovation and growth.
And this focus on, let's say, reining things in, it extends to schools too, according to the report. Promise 16 is about funding and ideology.
Defund schools pushing critical race theory and radical ideologies. Marked fulfilled. It describes an executive order cutting funds to schools pushing what it terms divisive ideologies, like CRT and radical gender theory. The framing is about ensuring schools focus on, core academics and critical thinking, not divisive political agendas or ideological indoctrination, protecting kids' education, basically.
So this whole section really hammers home what the report presents as a commitment to core principles. Constitutional rights, less government interference, protecting traditional values, empowering the individual is the message. Okay, let's get into the final segment of this report. This is where it talks about strengthening national foundations and promoting unity. Things like domestic improvements, national strength, social issues, kind of knitting things together.
Right. Starts with Promise 11. Rebuild cities, including Washington, D.C., and yes, listed as fulfilled. The claim is that strong federal support for local police, plus cleanup efforts, led to historic drops in violent crime. It also points to renewed economic vitality in cities, specifically mentioning D.C. Making cities safe and prosperous again is the narrative.
Bringing back pride and security to communities. And that strength theme, it goes global too. Promise 12. Strengthen and modernize the military.
Marked fulfilled. The report describes it as the largest military investment in decades, but stresses it's not just about spending, it's strategic. Modernizing forces, rebuilding depleted stockpiles, giving troops the best tech to deter enemies. The goal presented is projecting undeniable strength to protect U.S. interests, deterring fights before they start. Peace through strength, essentially.
Yeah, peace through strength comes up a lot. And staying on that global peace theme, the report highlights Promise 8. Prevent World War III and build a missile defense shield.
And it claims this is fulfilled, calls it truly remarkable for just 6 months. It cites specific examples. Preventing wars, like de-escalating India-Pakistan tensions, ending something called the 12-Day War, brokering peace in Africa between the DRC and Rwanda, so portraying a very active role in global conflict resolution, and crucially, funding the Golden Dome missile defense system to protect against future threats.
Those are some pretty big claims on the world stage. But back home, things people rely on daily. Promise 14 is about Social Security and Medicare.
Marked it fulfilled. The report asserts very clearly, Social Security remains untouched. No cuts, no changes to retirement age. Instead, it says the focus was on eliminating waste, fraud, and abuse in the system. To ensure solvency, protect benefits, responsible stewardship is how it's framed.
And then there's a shift to a hot-button cultural issue, Promise 17. Keep men out of women's sports.
Also fulfilled, according to the report. It states the administration ended the practice of biological males in women's sports and claims this directly led to NCAA rule changes and policy shifts in states and high schools, presented as a stand for fairness and protecting opportunities for female athletes.
Okay, and kind of underpinning all these reported successes, ensuring the system works, is election integrity. Promise 19. Secure elections.
Marked fulfilled. The report says nationwide measures were implemented, things like banning foreign election interference, strengthening voter verification, prosecuting non-citizen voting, which it says undermines elections, and requiring paper ballots for a verifiable audit trail, all framed as steps to restore confidence in the whole electoral process.
Which leads us right to the final promise, the one that sort of wraps it all up. Promise 20. Unite the country through success.
Yeah, and the report marks this fulfilled too, presenting it as the ultimate outcome. It claims more Americans believe the country is on the right track than at any time in the last 2 decades, offers that as proof of rising optimism, and also notes near historic Republican support for President Trump's agenda. The implication is that the policies aren't just working, they're actually bringing people together through shared success, success breeding unity.
Wow. So to kind of wrap up our deep dive into this specific report, its conclusion is stark. President Trump fulfilled all 20 of these core promises in just 6 months. From borders to the economy, rights to national unity, the document argues this period saw massive, measurable progress across the board. That's the story it tells, based on its metrics.
Exactly. And I think what really jumps out from the report's perspective isn't just that the promises were kept, but the claimed speed and scope. To assert that all these foundational things were achieved, marked fulfilled in half a year, well, it's presented as incredibly decisive, a sign of a clear mandate being executed with real drive.
It definitely is presented that way. Which leaves us, and you listening, with something to think about. If this report's picture of rapid progress and growing unity is accurate, how might these changes as described continue to shape America, both on the world stage and right here at home? Something to consider. The potential long-term impact of what this report calls promises kept.